How's it going, everybody? This is Derek Quick with Count Fortune. Welcome to the new castle. So today we're going to be talking about the uranium market. We're going to talk about Sput, which is Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Uranium stocks have had a retrace from their big move recently. We're going to talk about Sput and why it's dropped, what I see the uranium market doing soon, and what Sput needs to actually get that volume back, because we've actually not had much volume. And I'm going to talk about the tax implications that non-Canadian investors will face when buying Sput, and like I said, what needs to change to help this. And we're going to go all through that. First, please hit that like and subscribe button below. And like I said, make yourselves at home in the new castle. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, I'm going to explain the uranium market quickly and what Sput has really done to the uranium market. And I tweeted this out. I said, uranium stocks are highly leveraged plays on the price of uranium. So if uranium runs from $39 to $50 a pound, that was a 29% gain. But if it cost $38 to produce 1 pound of uranium, the profit margin went from $1 a pound to $11 a pound. That's an 11,000% increase. And what this does to uranium stocks is you see these massive moves in uranium stocks, because overnight their profit margins can rise 1,100%. You know, in a week time, we've seen $11 moves in uranium. And the thing is, once uranium stocks, I went on to say here, once they get over $65 to $75 in the long-term uranium price for spot uranium, and also the long-term uranium price, when it gets that high and they start doing these utility contracts that are long-term, we see that price go up, that's when I think that these multiples for the uranium stocks will be massive compared to what they're doing right now. Because a lot of uranium stocks, some can actually produce somewhat profitable at $55+ but we really need to see that $75 plus. So we're going to look at Sput here. Now this tracker here, we can see that in the last couple days they actually haven't bought much uranium. Actually, the last 2 trading days they haven't bought any at all. They do have about $7 million cash. Net asset value is about 1.3 billion. But you can see the volume here in Sput actually has been lower than we saw in the last couple weeks, where we had this big run in price. So we're going to start to need this volume, this buying volume, to come back. We had a lot of selling pressure the last four trading days. So that's something that's really what Sput needs, and it's really big for the stock. A lot of people have been selling. I think there's some other things we'll talk about, possibly short selling from the stock. I'll show you some data in a minute, but we want to look at the spot runs here. Now, in the past month, Sput ran the spot market price up from about $32.50 to about $45. That's actually what we're at now. So we're at 38%. But when I first started tracking it, and we hit on September 17th the $51 high, that was about a 57% move. Now, I've tracked a lot of the previous runs, and you can see we're getting close to almost the massive all-time runs that we had back when the uranium bull market was at its peak. So this run in 1 month beat all of the records that we had in uranium, the big runs. So in less than a month, Sput did that. And we're just getting started. Now, Sput needs to list on the New York Stock Exchange probably sometime next year. But one thing that's really happening with the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust is it actually is a PFIC, which stands for Passive Foreign Investment Company. So anyone outside of Canada is going to be charged at a large rate. And in the United States, it's about 37%. And this is going to happen if we don't get this KID, which is a key information document. So we need this to be approved. Sprott has already filed it. Once this is approved, you can actually buy and sell the stock and then use it as normal capital gains tax. So whatever your tax bracket is, this is for the United States. Remember, this is not financial advice. Talk to your tax professional. But this is one thing I think that's holding it back. A lot of people, a lot of friends of mine that are overseas, either they can't buy it because of this, or they don't want to be taxed. Like in England, it's like 45% regular income, you know, versus their capital gains. So we're waiting on that. Now, when we get the KID, this is their KID from the other trust that they have, the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. So, but this is basically what it outlines. It's just this is what the market needs. When you file your taxes in the US, at least, you're gonna have to file an extra tax paperwork for the trust. It makes it a little bit easier, obviously, having this, and you're not gonna get taxed the max amount. One other thing I wanted to cover, not related to taxes, is this is the top shareholders. So we are getting these bigger companies to start investing in Sprott. 11%. They're out of Tampa, I believe. And, you know, we're starting to see this selling, okay? And what I was thinking was, because it is trading on the OTC, we recently actually had, I'll show you on here, we recently had yesterday, and it's since changed over the weekend, but there was a failure to deliver, and the short interest has gone up. Now with OTC stocks, this isn't always the most accurate. The short interest, it could be reporting like selling. It's not like the NASDAQ where it's more updated regularly. But we do have a lot more shares to actually borrow now to short. I'm not shorting, but there is a possibility there are people starting to short this. You know, this could be a threat to, you know, utilities. I'm not saying they're shorting this, but as the price moves up, they have to pay higher prices. If I was an investor only in utility companies, you know, I might want this to go down. So who knows? Funds could want this to go down because they want to load up on uranium stocks. Because remember that, like I said in the tweet, uranium stocks are highly leveraged plays on the price of uranium. And right now, the spot price is all we have to go off of, because the long-term prices, these are done years and years they take sometimes to do. And we're probably coming up in the next year or so on new long-term contracts with utility companies. But you know, like I said, the short volume has started to go up, or at least selling volume has, as we can see here. We're gonna need the buying volume to come back, I think, to get this to go up. Once we get that KID approved, I think there'll be a lot of foreign investors investing in Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Now, if we want to look at the gold trust, we can see that they have a lot more volume. It's trading close to about what we are trading here. But remember, gold is a lot different. You know, there's a lot more fiat in the gold market. So, okay, there's a lot more gold out there that you can just, pretty much any company could mine gold, and then it can pretty much go into the market really quickly. With uranium, that's not the case. It takes multiple years to mine and produce this fuel. It takes a lot longer to get the permits for uranium. So it's a lot different. There's no fiat uranium out there. When you buy Sput, this trust only buys uranium. They will not sell it. I've been seeing people say, oh, what if Sput's actually gonna sell the uranium? The CEO actually said that they cannot sell the uranium. Okay, so this is a trust. It's not a corporation like Denison was when they were managing it. So they are managing this trust, and they are not going to be selling back into the market. So you can rest assured that they're going to continue to hold this 28 plus million pounds of spot uranium that they purchased. So what do I see the uranium market doing in the next, few weeks? I think we could continue to see the selling pressure on possibly Sput. If that continues to happen, uranium stocks are likely to go down, unless a lot of big funds start coming in, which they could actually be doing this. They could be starting to buy and accumulate. I'll be accumulating more, but as the more buying volume comes in on Sput, I think we'll start to see this. They'll be able to raise more money, which they have 1.3 billion altogether. They bought actually zero, like I said. You can see on this chart here, 0 pounds the last 2 trading days. When we see that buying volume come back, I think we'll start to see uranium prices go up. Now, what has this done to uranium prices, or uranium stock prices? They've retraced a good amount in the last couple days, but we are still up pretty big for the 8-month year, and March 2020 when I actually loaded uranium stocks. But if I scroll over here, you can actually see I track all this. We're actually, a lot of these are off a good amount from their 52-week high, so they still have a big upside potential if we get the spot price continue to go up. Again, like I showed you, in the chart here. This was in 1 month. So remember, a lot of these moves, they took 7, 8 months, and Sput is going to continue to buy spot uranium. So we're going to see the price rise, in my opinion. And when they get this New York Stock Exchange listing, probably mid next year, maybe, like I said, Q2 of next year is when I thought it probably would come out. You're going to see a lot more volume. They're going to be raising a lot more. And the 7 months, we could see 100+%, I think, from here. $45, we could easily see 90 in the next 6 to 8 months, I think. That's about what I thought it could be, about 75 plus, and then by Q2 of next year. But uranium stocks, they're very volatile. Remember, this is not financial advice. I don't want anyone to just jump in buying uranium stocks. Do your due diligence, but uranium stocks are going to do massive moves when that spot price goes up. And I love uranium stocks. I love covering them. But let me know, did you buy any dips on uranium? And do you like the castle? Yes, this is a real sword, by the way, if you're asking. And there's gonna be a lot more videos to come.